It's game day. It's game day. Round two, game one tonight. Just a couple hours away. That was an unintentional rhyme. K-Fitz joins the show. So let's talk some hockey. Go ahead and play the music. Hey,
Hey, are we there?
yeah, I'm here. Are you here?
I'm here. And
Wait a
so are
minute.
the stars. Still.
Yeah, that's yeah. Huh?
Yeah, well, hey, you know what? You said they were going to fall in game 7 when we were talking, and I didn't want to bring it up because I didn't want to jinx it, but at that point in time, Coach DeBoer was 7-0 in game 7s.
I know, and that's kind of the way my head works. I'm like, I know that my opinion has no say in the game whatsoever, but I'm like, if I put some reverse psychology into the universe, who knows? Maybe it'll work.
Well, apparently it worked because they sure got it done. And old young giant Wyatt Johnson struck first blood.
And last blood, did he not?
And uh no, I thought was he the who was it the last one to score?
Oh, no, I don't mean in that sense. I
Oh,
mean like,
oh, oh, yeah. In the series, yeah. He scored first blood and last blood. You're correct.
yeah, like he was the one that started the downfall. So
He sure did.
there you go. Like, and I apologize. I don't mean to say that. If I say last blood and first blood like that, it usually means he starts the downfall of something or whoever starts it. So
Ah, I got you.
like the game winning goal, I don't even remember. I just know that it happened and I was over the moon. Dude, I screamed so loud. My poor mom woke from a deep sleep and ran in here and was like, "Are you okay?"
Well, I'm not gonna lie. Once again, I did not watch the game. I just monitored the score because, like I told you, that's just kind of now we make it to the cup, I might have to start watching it. But for right now, I'm monitoring scores. That's kind of because I don't want to jinx them. And unfortunately, the games that I watched, they lost to the Golden Knights. So when I stopped watching them, they won. So we're just gonna we're just gonna go with that. But Fox is the one who got the second goal, which was the winning goal in that game.
Yes, sir. He sure did. That's right. I'm looking it up too.
Yeah, and Johnson, he had his goal. We had Craig Smith with an assist in that game.
And
Not
here
a
we are. Hmm?
not a lot statistically in that game, to be honest with you.
No, there really wasn't. It was just kind of like, okay,
Uh,
here, you take a turn. No, you take a turn.
and Jake had 22 saves off of 23 shots on goal.
That's amazing. Why wasn't it like 30, 40 some odd shots for Vegas? That's crazy.
I know that's kind of low for Vegas, isn't it? Usually they get about 23 in at least the second period.
It feels like it anyway. Like, I feel like even though the Stars are supposed to be a balanced team now, I feel like they're still very much defense first. Like,
Yeah,
and maybe I'm crazy, but the way they don't attack the puck when the other team has it kind of makes me believe that too. Like, okay, we're just gonna let you have the puck, but when you make a mistake, oh, we're on it. Again, I might be crazy, but that's the vibe I get from them. And for Vegas, dude, they that strategy words just did not work.
No, no, it really didn't. And, honest and truly, I'm kind of glad they closed it out in Dallas. I'm glad they didn't close it out in that game in Vegas, just because it was nice to have that for the fans.
Oh yeah, let's bring that up too. How about them fans?
Yeah, I mean, they were out there from what I saw in all the highlights. I mean, man, they were out there and they were into it.
Yeah, that's nice.
Of course, and I don't know if you watched this last weekend's backlash for WWE. I know we always kind of talk wrestling and stuff, but man, I'll tell you what, my hat's off to those French fans for wrestling. Let me tell you, they were. I watched SmackDown and Backlash this weekend, and let me tell you something, man. Those are some fans right there. If we could as a fan base get to be like the French fans for the WWE, holy smokes, that house would be rocking, rocking, rocking. I mean, honest and truly, that's the first pay per view I've watched where the fans have been in it, even in the lower end matches, the matches you wouldn't think would be, something they'd be as into. And I'm telling you, and even my wife and I were both watching, and we were like, normally when we watch pay-per-views we kind of stay on our phones and we don't really watch the matches as much as we, but for some reason that crowd just got us into it, which the reason I bring that point up is, come on, Stars fans, if we want these boys to make it to the cup, that's what we need. The Stars will feed off that energy.
Yeah, they will. I mean, it's crazy how much like you could just tell what the crowd gives them. And it's not just wrestling. It is in hockey, like because you can. Let's say Jamie Benn goes out and nails somebody, the crowd livens up, and he'll go out and do it again a few minutes later.
Yeah.
You got to believe that the crowd plays a part in that decision, not just trying to take his man, but because he's feeling it.
And I'm going to go ahead and go on record in saying that I have a feeling that this next series, even though Johnston kind of came into his own in the Vegas series, I think this Avalanche series is going to be his coming out party.
Oh, I mean, it's possible because he feels like he's building momentum.
Not only is he building momentum as a player, but you can see it in the highlights, especially. He's building momentum as a leader. He's calling a lot of these plays on the ice, if you notice it.
Yeah, I've gotten many messages and Facebook comments. And what do you think about Wyatt? Do you think he'll have the see you soon? And I love that sort of thing. I love the discussion about it because you do start to wonder. And it makes you wonder, why aren't the other young guys stepping up? What's it going to take? Wyatt's calling the plays now and again. But what about Stankoven? Is Stankoven going to go look at what he's doing and be like, okay, I can too?
Oh
You
yeah,
know?
yeah. I truly believe in that. Like I said the last time, Coach DeBoer does things for purpose and reason. He never, if you ever look at his moves are never based off of emotion. His moves are always based off of a need or a want or something that he sees. And I
Mm-hmm.
think by him putting Stankoven on the line with Johnston, he knows that Stankoven's one of those players that will follow suit. And yeah, I mean, I could definitely see it. I think Stankoven, with the experience he's getting this season, next season as a full time rookie, uh, man, I think he could be probably one of the most dominant rookies we've seen in quite some. And I'm talking about through the whole league, not just the Stars.
Yeah. No, I agree. And it's an interesting time to field the rookies, so to speak, during a time where it's do or die. But on the other hand, if you see how they do and you like what you see, man, that lowers your payroll just a little bit.
Well, and it's like they say, iron sharpens iron. You know, This is,
Yeah.
as a rookie to be getting this kind of experience, man. I mean, it's almost like taking, I don't know, a rookie quarterback and having him not only win the division his rookie season, but also go to the playoffs and also win a playoff game. C.J. Stroud. Anyway, I don't want to throw anybody out there, but it almost be kind of like that.
I mean, Auditor knows about playing in the fire too.
He
Dobie
sure
was hurt.
does. He sure does. And I tell you what, we give Otter some flack, and I know mid-season we both kind of thought and I still think he was fighting through some sort of injury at that point in time because
Hmm.
he just wasn't on it. But you watch him here recently, he's been on it. I mean, my goodness, even closing out the season with some of those wackadoodle weird saves that he was pulling out of his hat. I mean, my goodness.
I go back to that stick save he made during, who was it? Was it Vegas?
It was a no, it was an overtime game. It was they thought it was like the final game of the season, wasn't
Oh,
it?
it was. Yeah. He whips out the stick and it looks so. I was marveling over the fact that it looks so casual. Everybody's like,
Well, it was almost like a no look too, because he wasn't even really looking at the puck. He just kind of threw his stick out there, like, well, we'll just try it and see.
yeah. The fans were like, all over social media, they go, oh man, he did this, this, and that. It looks so amazing. I'm going, it looked like it just came natural to me.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah. It didn't. I mean, it looked almost like what we call in sports, that muscle memory. Where you do something so many times where it's just a natural habit of just he caught the puck out the corner of his eye, and it was just his natural habit to throw the stick out there, and he got it.
Young bro barely even had to move.
Yeah,
He just put a stick out there, like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to get that. Whoa.
getting them Jedi moves out there to throw a Star Wars reference in on all this.
Oh, the irony. Consider, yeah, yeah. Hmm. Man, and we just beat the Mandalorian ripoffs. Look at that.
Yeah. So
The
now we go from the. I'm sorry, what were you about to say?
no, I was nah. That's not the time. I'll ask later.
So now we are jumping out of the frying pan and into the proverbial fire, going into a series with one of our older rivals, the Avs.
They gave us nothing but crap all season.
Yeah,
So
they
did
did.
Vegas.
So did Vegas. Hey, the cream rises to the top when it needs to. You can never base off of what happens in a season. And I don't know if Boston's looking at what they're fixing to face in Florida and remembering what happened to them last season against Florida, but you cannot focus on the past. This is a whole different season, and you know, uh, yeah, when the playoffs start, it really is a whole new season. The season is done, and you're now into a whole different territory. Honest and truly, if you remember the last season, the Stars, we kind of we got our butts handed to us by the Golden Knights. Even though we did try and we did our best, but you know, so it was nice to see that we came out and actually won this series this season. So yeah, I mean, new season. So we'll see what happens in this series. Honest and truly, I don't see this series going to 7. I think this series is going to end in either 5 or 6.
Oh,
Um, and I think the Stars win it.
I'm sorry. What? You
Yeah.
think the Stars win in five? What in the? Can you
Well,
elaborate?
so here's what I'm looking at, and I'm going based off of momentum. Right now, the Stars have kind of a crazy momentum, where they're like winning 3 games in a row and losing one. So I think if they carry this momentum forward, I think they take the first 2 games in Dallas. I really do. I think that they're going to carry the momentum of beating the Knights. You got to understand what a mental hill that was for them to get over the Knights. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes just beating a team like the Golden Knights can propel a team. I mean, look at Florida last season. Honest and truly, nobody gave them a chance against Boston. They
Right.
came in there, they dominated Boston, they carried momentum going into the playoffs. Boston came in flat. They beat Boston handily, and they carried that momentum all the way through the playoffs. Beating a big team like that when nobody gives you the credit or the nobody thinks that you're going to be able to do it. In fact, I saw on many a forums, well, there goes our season the minute they announced that we were going to be playing the Golden Knights,
Mm-hmm.
because once again, like we talked in a earlier in our show last, for some reason there's always those teams that always seem to have your number, and as a fan base, we for whatever reason we kind of fear the Golden Knights. And honest and truly, we could have gone against LA and it might have turned out into a different series. We might have taken them a little lighter and we could have lost to LA and been out of the cup race. But no, we played against one of the best teams in the league, one of the better teams in the league, the Golden Knights, and we beat them in a series. And that was especially for the Stars and the players on the Stars team. That was a mental hill that we just got over. That was like a Mount Everest type climb for this team, and I think they're going to carry that momentum. So, based on what's going on, I think we take games 1 and 2 in Dallas. I think we lose game 3 in Colorado. I think we take game 4 in Colorado. I think we come back to Dallas and we win again, and then I think we close it out in Colorado. That's just how I see it.
That's interesting because I've heard many a times where they were in Colorado and altitude was always an excuse somehow, some way, you know?
Hmm.
And that's what I don't trust. It's like, well, okay, if you're gonna if how can I say this without uh accidentally slandering? If you want to have that momentum to actually have a chance at winning in Colorado and not having altitude as an excuse, you got to dominate here.
Yes.
And
So,
go
and
ahead.
that's why I say they lose that first game in Colorado, because yes, anybody who has ever traveled, especially from Texas to Colorado,
Mm-hmm.
it is an entirely different, especially as an athlete, it's an entirely different world to be in.
Mm.
Um, when I used to skate, we would, if we went to nationals, we would get invited to go to Colorado Springs to the national, to the Olympic Training Center to go train. And not throwing any names out there, but Tony and Dante Muse, if y'all are listening, there were a couple of skaters. Chad Hedrick out of down in Houston was one of them. Steve Morgan from here in my skate partner, and a couple other Gypsy. Anyway, we all would travel to Colorado, and it would take you at least a good 3 or 4 days just to acclimate yourself to be able to walk upstairs and be able to not be out of breath just because of the altitude difference. And I never suffered from nosebleeds, never, never, never. And my first, I'd say 36 hours there, I probably had 5 or 6 nosebleeds just because of the altitude change. And but I will say this, coming from Texas to there, I had allergy issues, and when I went there my first time, I was completely clogged up, and I had never heard my sinuses pop so loud as I did. We had just gotten into our dorm rooms, and we were fixing to go get us something to eat for. It was around dinner time when we got there, so we were fixing to go in there and go get us something for dinner. And no sooner did I put my bag down, it was such a loud pop. My buddy Steve was like, "What was that?" I said, "That was my head." And the next thing I know, I had a nosebleed, but I was able to breathe clear. And honest and truly, once you get acclimated to it, it's some of the, I mean, it, 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 it gives you energy. But like I said, it's that point of getting acclimated to it. So yeah, I think we'll probably drop that first game just because even though we play them in the regular season, your body's never going to get used to it. And that first game, it's going to take their bodies to get used to it. But like I said, I do think we do come back and get the second game.
I tell you, there's a couple things that scares me about the Avalanche, and it was kind of similar. I remember going back and forth with you about Vegas too, and it's the way we skate in Dallas, and for that matter, not only is the altitude a factor, I realize, but the fact that the Avalanche love to, for lack of a better way of putting it, marathon change. Like they will double shift people, they will give them a 10-second rest, put them right back out. Like that scares me. I feel like they're gonna out change Dallas, and I think maybe if they're gonna lose, I think they don't have a chance in Colorado. And what scares me is that 7-4 game. Like, how in the world did they go from losing left, right, and center to a 7-4 victory? How did they dig deep to win that?
Well, the Stars have done that in the past as well, if you recall.
Yeah,
We've come back from big deficits. It's just the way the puck rolls. That's just the hockey gods were in their favor that night. Honest and truly, there's too many factors to go into how it happened, why it happened. Do I think that that's going to happen in this series? No. I mean, can it happen? Yeah, it can, but I think the Stars are going to be a little bit more focused during a regular season game. Those type of things are more susceptible to happen because, uh, and I don't mean to say effort's just not there, but sometimes the effort's not there in a regular season game, especially when you do get up on a team and you feel like, okay, we've got this one. Sometimes you can dial it down, and unfortunately, once you dial it down, it's hard to dial it back up. It's easy for a team that hasn't dialed it up yet to maintain that momentum once they start getting it. It's hard for a team that had that momentum and all of a sudden they have to pick that momentum back up because they've gotten up. If you look at in the NFL, if you look at some of the greater comebacks, one of the big things that caused a lot of those comebacks was once a team gets up, they go into different things. They use different defenses. They use a prevent defense in the NFL, which is one of the worst defenses in the world, in my opinion. And
I agree.
you're more worried about getting beat but on the deep ball as opposed to giving up all these short plays. But here's what you don't realize is by giving up all those short plays, you're giving them more and more first downs, more and more momentum. You're making your defense play more, and they're getting gassed because guess what? In their mind, well, hell, we're up 30 points. Why should we don't? We're done. We won this game. And if you have a scrappy team in front of you that doesn't believe in that, then they can come back and the hard part about it is when it's that slow, gradual climb back up, and it's depleting when you are up. Let's say you're in hockey. Let's say you are up 4 goals. Let's say it's a 4-0 game, and you're up 4 goals, and all of a sudden you go into cruise control because well we've got this one. We're halfway through the second period. We're up 4-0. So now we're just going to go into cruise control, and all of a sudden they get your opponent gets that first goal, and then they get that second goal. Uh-oh. Now we're 2-4. Well, it's easy for them to keep that momentum going because their mindset's already there. You have to get back into that mindset of, uh-oh, now we need to be more on the attack. And it's just sometimes harder to transition back, and sometimes it just doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's true. Well,
So, like I said, because this is a playoffs, I don't see a lot of that happening. That's why you don't see a lot of those type of scores in the playoffs. You might see like you saw with where the Hurricanes beat the Islanders 6-3. You might see something like that, but that was a final game, or where the Avs beat the Jets 6-3,
7-6.
or yeah, or it's the 7-6 games. So I mean, you'll see stuff like that, but you're not going to see these crazy blowouts or these crazy comeback blowouts. because teams are a little bit more focused when it comes to the playoffs. It's a whole different world, or at least it should be.
I mean, yeah, I agree. And I brought up the 7-6 game because that was a pivotal game too. Like that set the tone for the whole series, if you remember. And
Yep.
Winnipeg just wasn't able to. I don't want to say maintain, but it's just like the wheels fell off from there. Like they tried, but Colorado inevitably just came out in the end.
Yeah.
Said good riddance, and luckily for Dallas, Colorado and Avalanche. Wow, Colorado and Dallas are built pretty evenly, as Weldon and I discussed last episode. But that they're gonna have to pay a little bit more attention than what they did Game One against Vegas, because to fall within the first 30 seconds, 1-0, yike.
Yeah. Well,
Colorado is one that you don't want to fall down to either.
yeah, and I don't see that happening in this game one. I think this is going to be an entirely different game one. While yes, the Vegas Knights are one of our rivals, they're not as storied a rival for the Stars as the Avalanche are. And I think, and I'm not taking anything away, but I feel like the Avalanche is one of those teams where it's kind of like when the Cowboys play the Texans. Yeah, it doesn't happen all the time. They're not in the same division, but when it does happen, it's a different game. Players play different, teams play different. Case in point was when Houston was the expansion team coming into the league. Dallas was one of the premier teams at the time. Played against them in game one. For whatever reason, the NFL set it up that way, where the Cowboys played the Texans in their first game, and the Texans came out and won and didn't do much for the rest of the season. But it's just interesting how teams can come to play when it comes to other teams, and I just feel like the Avalanche are one of those teams that the Stars will come to play against.
I mean, they got a lot of people to shut down too. You got Makar, Rantanen. There's a load of people. Check out their roster.
Yeah, but the Stars have a load of people too, especially when they're on their A game, and we have a lot of youth and speed.
Yeah, we do. We got some depth. I mean, it's crazy when you got Wyatt Johnston saying, "All right, well, Rupe's not going to score, then I will."
Well, here's what I like. You know what I like? I like that it wasn't Robertson or Johnston. I like that it was Johnston that got our first goal
Yeah.
in Game 7 against the Knights, but I
Yes.
like that it wasn't a Ben or Robertson or a Hintz that got the winning goal. I like that it was a Radek Foxa, because you know what that shows? We can score. Anybody can score on our team,
Mm-hmm.
and as a team playing against us, you can't just focus on one line. You have to focus on all of our lines. So that's one thing that I think Dallas has in our favor. And yes, I understand the whole, quick line shifts and things of that nature. But I think Dallas can. I think it might be a struggle, but I think Dallas can do it.
I mean, I hate to say this because I could be wrong. I mean, Vegas and Colorado, like you said, are two different animals. But I think if you get rid of the dump and chase that Dallas loves to do, I think maybe they do have a chance. But I do disagree in one thing. I've seen all across all social media platforms, fans in the Facebook groups and things that I'm in, they say if you shut down the top line of Colorado, then you shut everybody down. Colorado's not a one line team either.
No, I would never say something like that. Now, I will say if you're able to shut down that top line, you have a better shot. But I would not say that you've completely shut them down. That's a ridiculous statement.
It really is because, like we pointed out just a second ago, they love to double shift people and they love to, I don't know, it feels like give people 5 second breaks before they're out again,
Oh yeah.
Like they love to try, and they did. they did it very well. They kept the Stars on their toes, and I think
Yeah,
that's how they beat them before.
yeah, they have. And once again, like using the old Herb Brooks adage, you take the fight to them, and that's what the Stars are going to have to do against the Avalanche. They're going to have to do just like they just did against the Knights. You know, if you looked at the games, the first couple games where the Stars lost to the Knights, they did not. We both discussed this. It was like the Knights came out for a fight, and it's like the Stars were there for. I thought we were playing a card game. What the heck? You know, they weren't ready for that punch in the mouth. They weren't ready to actually fight this team. And you know, the Golden Knights took it to the Stars, and the Stars had a hard time defending against that. And you know, so hopefully that's not the case in this series. I hope they come out guns a blazing, and that's what they need to do. And in fact, it's kind of funny. You know, we had discussed, you know, when the Stars were down, and in the last show that we had, and you know, I said in order for them to win, they are going to have to, number one, they're going to have to come out and pressure the Golden Knights, and number two, they're going to have to work on raising the puck to score and angles. And sure enough, that next game, right after we talked, in fact, me and you both kind of joked about it, but right away, what they start doing? They went out there, they pressured the Knights, and instead of doing these trying to slide in through the 5 hole or whatever, started hitting these crazy angles, lifting the puck up. In fact, I think one of them actually went off the face mask of the goaltender for the Knights, which was great.
Oh
But you
yeah.
know, I mean, you know, honest and truly, I mean, it was almost like they must have listened to us or something. I don't know. Maybe we got one of the Stars out there listening and was like, "Hey, these guys kind of made this point. Maybe we should try it."
Shoot, I wish that would be like the ultimate motivation to keep this thing going the way it is. But like, yeah, I mean, I think that's what you got to do against Colorado too, because Georgiev. I mean, if you look at Georgiev's stats, that boy don't mess around either, and
Yeah,
he's got some good defense around him too. Kale McCarr. If I go on naming people, I'm gonna be here all night or all day. So yeah, no, we're not gonna do that. But they're loaded,
yeah, they
and
are.
Georgiev can steal a game on his own if he wanted to. So I think that's one of the keys to beating Colorado is you gotta. I don't want to say pin him against the wall, but that's the best way to put it. You got to pin him against the wall and just start punching.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. 100% there. You know, you have got to be the aggressor in this series. You cannot wait for the game to come to you. You've got to come out there. You've got to be. I mean, I hate to say it. You've got to be like a combination of Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali. You got to come out there with that aggression, but you've also got to come out there with that little bit of rope a dope. You know, you got to come out there, be aggressive, but you've also got to find those. Once again, this is a goaltender. You're gonna have to lift the puck. You're not gonna be able to do that 5 hole stuff. You know, this is gonna be a. You know, you're gonna have to get some crazy Wyatt Johnson style shots on goal, you know. And I hate to say it, but that's what makes him so good as a player is he is probably one of the most creative shot goal shot I'm trying to think of the word that I'm trying to say, but shots on goal. Some of his shots on goal are some of the most creative shots I've seen in a long time. Like I'm watching it and I'm like, how does he get his body to move the way that he just did that? Even the shots where he doesn't get a goal, it's like how in the world did he even do that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that's going to play a huge part in the success of the Stars in this series too. You know how can you catch the Avalanche off guard? You know because once again they did stuff to catch us off guard, and you know like Vegas did a lot to catch us off guard, and I feel like that's why we lost to them so much in the regular season. But then we figured out how to beat them, and it was done.
You know, and I hate to say something like this, but Coach DeBoer is kind of a he's kind of smart in a lot of ways, And one thing that I have noticed is he doesn't like to show his cards. Like he doesn't play one team the same way in the regular season as he does when it comes to the playoffs.
Right.
And so I've never one to look at regular season and saying, well, in the regular season we did this against them, because we do have a head coach that changes his game plan up. And I would not be surprised if we don't see some crazy changes in this series, especially if we wind up getting down. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see a lineup change that maybe Coach DeBoer hasn't tried yet, or maybe has tried in practice and liked. So, yeah, I mean, we've got some great lines that are working great together right now, but I can almost promise you that if Coach DeBoer sees an open opportunity to change things up a little bit, he'd probably do it.
Give me Robo, Pavelski, and Wyatt all day long.
I would take Robo Pavelski and Wyatt, or Robo Pavelski and Stankoven all day long.
Really?
I would. I think Johnson and Stankoven you could interchange just because of the speed, the youth, and the aggression that those two players have.
I want to see an all AHL line. That'd be pretty sick. What if let's say Sam Steele or Craig Smith isn't having a good time? What if you plug in Bork, Stankoven, and Johnston?
And that would be an interesting line to see, especially for this kind of a series. I mean, especially when you're talking about how rapid and how quick the line changes are for Colorado. I mean, if you did have, say, a Sam Steele that was getting tired or not doing, what needed to be done, yeah, why not? Why not throw a line together like that and put them out there and just see what you can get?
Well, see, here's the thing too. We still don't know, at least that I know of, the status of Marchment and who was the other guy that was injured? Oh, wow, that's a bad time to draw a blank. Fox
um,
is not. He's back.
no,
He's
Fox
back.
is back.
Oh,
Oh, my brain just went lost too. Hold on.
I'm gonna have to look it up real quick because I sent it to somebody and I was just like, wait a minute, we don't know about this guy. Oh gosh, where is it? I have it in my messages. Hang on, here we go. Let's go. Scratches for the Stars was um Hawken,
Hockenbaugh,
Delandria, Marchment, and okay, that's it.
yeah,
Maybe it was Foxa. What? Yeah, I guess it was.
yeah, Fox, yeah, because he came back for Game 7.
And see, what if? And I mean, this is really gutsy, but what if you do take off a Sam Steele and put in Bork, and you hit him with that all AHL line? Would they see it coming? You're gonna have to do something that I guess what I'm looking for is, since they put out a video about revenge, I want to see some revenge.
Hmm.
Like I know you can't base everything off history, but human nature, everybody does that anyway.
Oh yeah.
And like I just want to see them come out and smack Colorado right in the mouth like they did us during the regular season, or like Vegas did in the game one. Like that would be. But how do you
Look,
do that?
one thing that goes hand in hand with revenge is redemption. You know,
Hmm.
and I can tell you, as a former Houston Oilers fan, when we lost to the Buffalo Bills in the playoffs, and it was at the time it was the greatest comeback ever in the playoffs, that stung for years. Fast forward to 2001, the Tennessee Titans, who are the former Houston Oilers, are in the playoffs to advance and to beat the Buffalo Bills. Comes down to the final play, the Music City Miracle. We score off of a kickoff return and won. That was the greatest feeling. And yes, it was a revenge feeling and a redemption feeling as a fan. So yeah, against Colorado, heck yeah, I'm all in. Let's play a little revenge and redemption against the Colorado Avs. Kind of like how we felt back in the 90s when the Stars won the Stanley Cup and had to go through Colorado to get there. That was another revenge redemption series. Sure, I'm all in. What a mirror for, could you imagine? And I'm not saying that we are, but could you imagine if the Stars do make it to the cup and win the cup this season and we had to go through Colorado? Tell me that wouldn't be kind of a wonderful mirror. I saw somebody had posted a picture of Ed Bell of not Ed Bell was yeah Ed Belfour the other day, and it was just like, huh, how fitting to post that with us going into a series against Colorado.
I mean, it feels like deja vu. It really does.
Yeah,
I can't remember in 98, 99 who they played in the first round if it was the defending Stanley Cup champions at the time. But, that's something this team has going for it.
yeah.
They
I
just
don't I
took out
don't
the champs.
I don't remember who they played in that first round. I do the one, and I don't even really remember the Stanley Cup series itself when we won the cup. I remember us winning, but I remember the Colorado Avalanche series of that whole playoff run more than I remember anything.
Dude, Colorado has always had, I don't want to say our number because that is a blatant fallacy, but
No, no.
Colorado's already or always brought it. To paraphrase what The Rock says, they always bring it. They're not afraid. Like Vegas, they bring the same energy no matter who and no matter where they play.
Yeah, definitely. You know,
And go ahead.
oh no, it is. It's one of those teams that I never look forward to playing, whether it's regular season, whether it's playoffs, just because I know that they're going to bring their A game. There is no B, C, or D game. It is a constant A game, just like with the Golden Knights. You know when you beat a team like that, you know you beat them at their best. You know you didn't beat them because they just, well, we'll just let you win. They come out, and they come out to beat you, to hurt you.
Yeah, man, they were the wow. Now I'm stuttering. They were the Stanley Cup champions last year, and then they came in as a wild card. That had to light a fire under them.
Oh yeah.
Oh my. Colorado a couple of years ago winning the Stanley Cup as well, or a handful of years ago now, I guess. Oof.
Uh, I know we shouldn't like dwell on the win and beating the Knights, but honest and truly, as a fan base, I think we should at least appreciate that for a little bit. And tonight we've got Colorado game one. I think as a fan base, we need the fans to really come out and show out. Um, yeah, because this is a special team. I don't know. There's just something. It has a feel about it. With the youth of Johnson and Stakehoven, and the possibility of this being Pavelski's last season, and you know Jake Ottinger in his third season just is doing phenomenal, especially now late into the season. We were all kind of worried about him mid-season because he hadn't really gotten to that Jake Ottinger form that we were so used to, and now we're actually seeing that back, and there's just so much. Jamie Benn is really acting like a captain this playoffs as opposed to last season. Last season, just we kind of felt like that crazy train, just waiting for it to go off the rails. And I don't know, this season it just feels like they're a much more well-oiled machine. Are they like at that elite where no matter who we play, we're gonna beat level yet? No, but it has that feel of we can. beat anybody.
That's putting it mildly. I mean, heck, all the numbers of your what was it, your top 5 players, I believe, for the Stars' current roster, they were all better than the top 5 of the '99 Cup team.
Yeah.
All their numbers.
And this is a more like look at last season versus this season. Yeah, last season was great, but we were nowhere near as balanced as we are this season, or as we are this season as from last season. You know,
Hmm.
last season we had Robertson, we had Johnson who was doing okay, we had Hintz who was doing great, but it wasn't like even across the board. Like if you look at our stats across the board on our lines, I mean, you can almost interchange anybody from our lines on any one of our lines, and would it affect? It might affect gameplay as far as chemistry, but as far as statistics, wouldn't affect the line at all.
Now they have a bunch of people, like we said last show, me and Weldon, where we can just plug and play.
Yeah, I mean, it just has that feel of, you know, we can change things up on a fly. Coach DeBoer has coached this team up to where yeah, he can change things on the fly, and I think it would create success. So, against a team like Colorado, if he sees something's not working, he has carte blanche to kind of change things up however he needs to, and that's a testament to the players and the coaching staff.
Yeah, it really is. It's oof, 7 games possibly with the Avalanche now.
I
Oof.
don't. I'd hope it doesn't come to a 7 games. I saw so that hockey puck that I showed you that I printed on my 3D printer.
Yeah.
Well, because I'm new into whole 3D printing, I joined a Facebook page that's about 3D printing, and uh, you know I I had posted on there, you know, about the the stars and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And one guy had said something to the nature of, oh yeah, I hope the Avs take it in 4. It's like nobody on that whole page has said anything positive about the Stars. Everybody's on the Avs or were on the Golden Knights because when I had posted it, it was before the Stars had won uh, the last game. So yeah,
Dude, that's wild. We're one in the West and against Vegas underdogs. Against Colorado, we seem to be well, I mean, everybody all the talking heads, experts, as people say, NHL Network and the like, they did favor us, yes. But to the fans that really aren't elbow deep in the hockey business, we were all underdogs.
hmm
And Colorado kind of gives you that vibe too. When you go to Colorado's pages, they're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna beat the Stars in 4. We'd beat the Stars in 3 if it was possible." Blah blah blah. That's hypothetical, but it's that exaggerated. I like that. I like seeing the fans write off the Stars, and heck, I kind of enjoy writing them off myself because when I wake up and I'm wrong, it's just like I knew it. You know, like I knew they had it in them to beat Vegas. Was I concerned? Yes, because Vegas is physical. They don't play around, and they probably beat up the Stars. Let's be real. We don't know who's uh definitely hurt, for lack of a better way of putting it, because they play through injuries so much.
yeah,
But we know they're probably going into Colorado beat up a little bit. And Colorado is the same type of team. They'll hit you with speed. They're not going to beat your butt. They're just going to try and outskate you and outwork you.
this is true.
So we got that going for us. We got a matchup of two speedy teams that, can score from just about anywhere. And I don't think this is going to be one of those series where, oh, you shut down the top line and you win the series. Oh, no. They're going
No,
to bring everything they got against you.
There's way too much talent on both of these teams to think you can shut down any one of their lines and think that you've got this game won.
I think if the Stars win it in 5, I would be shocked. If they won it in 6, I would be shocked. I would be, after what Vegas did and the Stars did, I wouldn't be surprised if this was another 7-game series. And it's going to be fun to see how they match up now because yeah, it's a fresh slate. As even the Stars social media people just said today, clean slate, new series, let's go.
Yeah,
The regular season's all well and good, but they were playing for positioning. They got the positioning now. Now they're playing for their life. If you look at it that way, then you're going to want to win 4 games just a little bit more. You're playing for your playoff life.
that's the truth.
And my only question is, can the Stars play with urgency and keep up with Colorado?
I think they can.
I hope so because like we said, we've beaten this dead horse a few times. Colorado is going to try and outchange you.
Yeah, they are.
And I mean, Ottinger has battled through whatever it was. Maybe he was just caught off guard game 1 and he battled back. I don't know. I would love to be in his head and just tell him, hey, you're all right, kid. Just keep going. But, you got that too. Friggin' Georgiev and Jake Ottinger in net. Man, what if all you have to do is play defense in front of Jake? What if that's all you have to do?
Mm,
That's going to be wild. You said something about playing chess instead of checkers.
right.
This is going to be a chess match.
Oh, it always is against Colorado. It just like it always is against the Knights. But I think it's more of a chess match against Colorado than it is against the Golden Knights, personally.
Oh, shoot. I would like to piggyback off of what you just said and wonder where they're at mentally because you just dethroned the champs. Now you got Colorado. We already know that as you go through the rounds, it's going to get tougher and tougher and tougher. And you got to have the fortitude to be able to make it all the way to the top.
Right. Well, and here's one thing that I'm gonna say. You know, keep throwing out that we dethrone the champs. Honest and truly, I don't think the Stars even looked at the Golden Knights as we dethrone the champs. I think they looked at it as we just overcame something that we haven't been able to overcome in the playoffs, and
Mm-hmm.
that is beating the Golden Knights in a series.
Yeah. No, I agree. I want to see that amplified though. I want to see him. I don't want to say out for blood because people automatically assume that means I want to see somebody get dang near offed, shall we say. And
No,
that's not the case, but I want to see the Stars play like they're out for blood.
yeah, I want them to play like they want it more than the Avalanche do. How's that?
There you go. Play hungry. That's the word.
Play
Play like,
hungry. Play like, once again, to bring up the adage from Rocky, play like there is no tomorrow.
I mean, in the playoffs, there really is no tomorrow. Because if you find yourself down, you have 2 options: you stay down or you dig out.
That's it.
Man, and uh, I'm scared of this. I'm not gonna tell you that the Stars are gonna lose, but I say we're in for some late games. That's all I can tell you. They're in for some late games, and I hope everybody that's not hurt stays healthy. Because here's the thing for you too. I've seen some Avalanche players that are rumored to be banged up, shall we
Yeah.
say?
Well, I hate to say it, this late in the season, everybody's going to be banged up somewhat.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not one player, unless it's somebody that you had on injured reserve or injury all season, and all of a sudden somehow is able to make it back for the playoffs. I don't want to throw no names or any team under the bus that would pull something like that, but I'm just saying, if there were if there were a player like that, they may be at about 100%. But for those players that haven't done all of that, they're just yeah they're nowhere near 100%.
Mr. LTIR himself. Mr. Lost to the Stars in round one. That did you see that meme?
Yes, I did.
That was so hilarious. Oh my gosh.
Like I said, I didn't want to bring up any names. I'm just saying if there were a team that were to pull something like that in multiple seasons, mind you, not just one. We're not talking about just one season where they've pulled that. But
No.
if
Last
they're
three.
hey, hey, we're not throwing nobody under any buses here, right? We're just talking hypothetically, right?
I mean, there's no need to throw them under the bus when they're on the bus and going golf. Never mind.
But it's all legal, and that's one of the, not to get into the rule changes of the NHL, but that's one of the rule changes they really need to look into in the NHL because it gives a team an unfair advantage. But anyway, we were talking about possible Colorado Avalanche players. Let's not worry about the Knights. We're beyond them at this point. We have moved on. We are now on to the Colorado Avalanche. So now, speaking on the Colorado Avalanche, you were saying some injury reports.
Yeah, there's been some names that are tossed around that are banged up. I don't know for certain, so I'm not gonna name the players if they're still hurt or not. But I don't want that to be an excuse, is what I was gonna say.
No.
That was my original point. Like the good teams will do the whole plug and play thing. You know, oh, this person's done for the next 3 weeks. Okay, plug this guy in. What see how it goes, and if they win, they win. If not, oh well. What can you do?
Yeah.
That's what I see in Colorado. Like I don't see them trying to skirt the system, for lack of a better way of putting it. And I just hope that whoever's injured on both sides or on either side doesn't become an excuse.
Yeah. Let's be the Kobe Bryant. Let's not be the LeBron James, okay? You know, Kobe Bryant was always famous for, no excuses. Yeah, we had injuries, but no excuses. Let's not be the LeBron of, well, we lost because we had all these injuries and, I've got to play it all myself and blah blah blah. No, 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 no excuses. It's a team effort. Let's not make any excuses for any of our injuries, and no excuses for Colorado's injuries. And I'm excited for this series, honest and truly. I know that there's probably a lot in the fan base that aren't, but man, I don't know. This gets my blood boiling. This gets me back to that feeling I had back in you know in the mid to late '90s when the Stars would play the Avalanche. Nothing against here recently. Yeah, you always got that feeling when it is the Avs, but not this kind of feeling, not this kind of excitement, not where it's like, man, heck yeah. If we were gonna beat somebody to make it to the cup, we should win this series and move on to the cup. If we're gonna win the cup this series this season, yeah, I'd I'd much rather have gone through Colorado than go through Winnipeg. And nothing against Winnipeg. Great team, good season, awesome season. Unfortunately, lost against the Avs, but still, you know, I'm actually glad that we are going against Colorado because it's just poetic justice. It's just one of those things about sports, it's like when the Cubs finally won the World Series. It's just it is what it is. Or when the Red Sox finally beat the Yankees, that's the Red Sox needed to beat the Yankees to get to the World Series and get to where they are. That's what they needed to do. That's what you wanted them to do. You didn't want them to beat any other team like the Rangers or something like that because yeah, it would be great, but it's not as meaningful as when they got over that hump and beat the curse of the Bambino and made it to the World Series and won the World Series and had to go through New York. That's what you wanted. You know what I'm saying?
So what I'm getting out of you and out of what you're saying is you like the fact that the stars are having to slay all these dragons just to get to the promised land.
Right. because like they say, iron sharpens iron. I love that saying.
Mm-hmm.
The harder it is, the better you get at things. It's like, oh, I don't know. It's kind of like the whole Rocky having to beat Apollo Creed. Going the distance with him the first one, and then beating him in the second one, and winning the championship. Yeah, it would not have meant anything if Creed would have fought somebody else and lost to them, and then Rocky came in and won the championship from that other person. The movie. I know it's a movie, but still, even in sports, it's the same adage. It's just you know it, it just doesn't have that same feeling. And this series right here is just it's I hope it's a great series. I hope that nobody blows any. I don't want the Stars to blow the Avs out, and I don't want the Avs to blow the Stars out. I want this to be a hard fought. I want the Stars to win the series, and I'll be happy if the Stars do blow the Avs out. That would be amazing. Holy smokes! But I want one of these old Stars Avalanche series where it is a blue collar series where it's you know hit for hit, you know, penalty for penalty, goal for goal. Let's just get out there and may the best team win.
That sounds like a Rocky movie itself. Or like you want them to go blow to blow, toe to toe. Yeah, I'm with you. I want to see the Stars. I don't want to say that I want to see them blow everybody's brains out. Get bloody with it. But I want to see them play like they're angry, play like they have a dragon to slay, and slay it, because there's nothing better than looking down the barrel of a challenge that has kicked your butt so many times. Not that I know anything about this. And then one day you're like, I'm going to beat you. And then you beat it. Like, that is the best feeling ever.
Oh, it is. It is one of the best feelings ever when you beat something that has been, and it doesn't have to be a person. I mean, it can be a task. Let's say, you've been trying for the longest time to beat a video game or get past something in a game, and you
Mm-hmm.
finally do it. It is such a feeling of accomplishment, and it's like, yep, that's what we're looking for. That's what we wanted.
Kind of makes it, well, it's kind of bringing light to this thought that I've had. The only obstacle in life, not just sports, but in life, is you.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I should get a tattoo of that too, because that's a good reminder. The only thing that I'm really trying to get around is what's going on in the space between my ears. And I
That's
hope the
it.
Stars remember that.
Yep. Yep. Hope they get that guru going so they can get that mindset. But anyway, on that note, I gotta unfortunately get back to some schoolwork. And
Well,
my prediction is the Stars win tonight. What's your prediction?
I'm going to say they win tonight as well, based on what they did versus Vegas in Game 7. I cannot words. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
And I
I,
would guess that it's a 1-goal game.
yeah, I feel like the Stars have the momentum right now. I feel like they're carrying momentum. The Avalanche, yeah, they had a longer break between games, but sometimes those breaks can hurt you more than help you. So I think the Stars are going to be in game form a little bit more, and yeah, this is going to be a fun, interesting series.
I agree.
So on that note, thank you for inviting me on for another show. It was my pleasure, and go Stars.
Go Stars. Thanks for coming on, man. I love you, and I love having you on.
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
All right. Go Stars.
Go Stars.